Hey guys. I never got a chance to really talk about this because I first heard about it today. Well, I think I heard about it a little bit yesterday, but today mostly. It's understandable that sometimes we get upset when things happen and they happen in a way that kind of makes us feel uncomfortable, makes us feel like, we did all this work and it was for naught. Recently, Leslie Jones, who was in the 2016 Ghostbusters film, the reboot with the all-female cast, took to Twitter and basically lashed out at the fact that I think his name is Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, was going to do the Ghostbusters film, but was going to do a sequel to the original two. In other words, finally give us Ghostbusters 3, with a majority of the original cast, except for one who unfortunately passed away. So, the question is, why is Leslie so upset? I was just watching, I think it was named John Clampson here on YouTube. And he, on his podcast, along with some of his co-hosts, mentioned that even though people like Leslie, that Leslie needs to realize she doesn't own Ghostbusters. That the Reitmans are the ones that began the franchise. The Reitmans are the ones that basically said, hey, we want to do this sequel and we want to do it with the original cast. So for Leslie to come out and say she feels insulted, yes, one could understand that. One can truly understand that. But again, why is she upset? Well, basically, like I said, it's because she feels probably everything she did was all for naught. That basically the Ghostbusters she was part of doesn't mean anything. That's not entirely true because there is a mixed reaction to how people felt about the movie. Some people liked it, some people didn't, someone different. It had a mixed reaction. And financially, it bombing at the box office didn't help it anything. It didn't help it at all. But still, even with its box office failure, it still got a reaction out of people, mixed or positive or negative, just overall mixed. But it's nothing new. But for Leslie Jones, it's nothing new for her to come out and not for her, but it's nothing new for an actress or an actor like her to come out and say these things. It's nothing new. Because when you feel you've contributed to something, you feel that what you contributed to and were a part of should be recognized. I mean, I don't know what the director or anything, whoever the director was for the 2016 Ghostbusters said to them, but they must have said something along the lines of, yeah, this is going to be the start of a new Ghostbusters franchise. Like, this is going to be the new Ghostbusters of a new generation, and we're going to go from there. So I'm guessing if they said something like that, they promised something like that, and all of a sudden, 3 years later, it's announced that we're going to get a third installment in the original franchise, along with the majority of the original cast, that, you could probably understand where she's coming from. Now, everybody has a right to their opinion on how they take what she said. Now, the people at TJCS, that's basically what it's called for short, TJCS, basically said, look, you could have approached it a lot better. You could have, just checking my mom's bird there. But anyway, they're like, you could have approached this, Leslie, a lot better. You didn't have to be insulted. You didn't have to feel like you were insulted. You could have said, congratulations, it's nice to see you continuing the legacy that your family started, blah, blah, blah. She could have done it in a more professional way. Even maybe suggest, hey, if you have a role for a cameo or something like that, go ahead. I'm here, let me have a role in it, maybe a cameo, whatever. But, people will say she didn't have to take it the way she did. Now, is what Leslie say going to deter Reitman from doing this movie? Absolutely not. I think at the end of the day, when you have someone like Leslie Jones come out and basically, as anybody does when they first hear about this news, and that's just instantly react in frustration, and they basically come out and vent their frustrations. Sooner or later, you could hope that someone like Leslie will come out and say, look, I took down the tweet, because eventually you think maybe that tweet will be taken down so she can get better job offers. But eventually she'll be like, look, I'm sorry for what I said in that tweet about the new Ghostbusters films. I was just upset. I was frustrated. And hopefully by then, if she does that, if Leslie Jones does that, she'll get a better understanding of, hey, it's nothing against, what you guys did. Your movie is still part of the franchise. We just want to continue the original trilogy. So think about your Ghostbusters film as being in an alternate universe. In other words, it still exists. It just exists in its own universe. And I'm hoping down the line someone does address that to her and make her realize, look, it's nothing against what you did. It's nothing against what Megan McCarthy did, or Melissa McCarthy, I should say, did, or any of them. It's nothing against what you did. It's nothing against, like I said, Melissa McCarthy did, or any of your fellow actresses did in the film. It's just that we want to go in this direction, and your movie just takes place in another universe. And hopefully, if, let's say, Reitman can come out and address that to Leslie, address that in some way to Leslie, she'll get the idea of, hey, maybe there's a chance the female cast can cross over with the original cast down the line in a crossover movie, which I think would be good. But, the question everybody has is, does she have a right to be frustrated? Look, everybody has an opinion, has a right to their opinion and their feelings. And if she feels, honestly, whether we agree with it or we don't, that, hey, everything she and Melissa McCarthy and all the other actresses and actors, Chris Hemsworth and all of them did with the 2016 movie was for naught, and she feels insulted, then that's her opinion. That's, right now, that's how she feels. And if that's how she feels right now, then that's her opinion. There's nothing we can really say. There's nothing we can do to change her mind. We just got to hope maybe things settle down and perhaps she might remove the tweet, or if she doesn't, she just comes out and publicly apologizes for what she said and realizes, okay, maybe our movie is in another universe, and go from there. Because you think about it, do you think anybody says that about the Ninja Turtle movies? And how different they are? No. They look at those Ninja Turtle movies as being in different alternate universes. So hopefully cooler heads prevail, and maybe Leslie Jones will realize she made a mistake here, because I don't think they're insulting her or anybody else that worked on the 2016 movie in general. I don't think they're doing that at all. I think it's just the fact that when news got out that Reitman wanted to do this, it just kind of took her by surprise. And and a lot of people, whether they're actresses, whether they're actors or actresses, athletes, musicians, you name it. Some people take pride in the jobs that they do. And maybe and Leslie Jones obviously is one of those people that takes pride in what she does. And maybe she feels that the job she did on this Ghostbusters is being given a slap in the face, and she doesn't like that. So hopefully in the end, cooler heads will prevail. Cooler heads will prevail, and things will be smoothed out and settled. And hopefully she'll realize that it's nothing against her or what she's done. It's just that this is just another take on Ghostbusters. It's just the sequel that a lot of fans were promised a long time ago that's finally happening. And that it's nothing against the other one, because when you think about it, the other one probably takes place in an alternate universe when one really puts their mind to it. And the thing is, Leslie Jones has to understand as well that fans kind of feel like she does, in a sense. You see, when it was announced there was going to be a new Ghostbusters film releasing in 2016, a lot of fans were hoping it was the third one. Even for years, it kept being rumored that the third movie was coming. So when this happened, when this movie came out in 2016, and of course the trailer came out the way it did, and then the multiple trailers after that, and then the movie itself, it didn't do itself any favors because basically a lot of fans felt insulted. They felt trolled. They felt like they were taken advantage of because they were promised a third Ghostbusters film, but in their opinion, they were hoping for Ghostbusters 3, which is now finally happening, and not this all-female cast reboot that they got. So Leslie has to understand. So Leslie Jones has to understand that fans know how she feels. You know, they sense her anger. This is why not a lot of people are talking about this, because they can see where she's coming from. Because she feels insulted. Because in her opinion, she feels like she's been slapped in the face. Her hard work on this movie is being slapped in the face, and she doesn't like that. So fans do understand where she's coming from, because they felt the same way when this Ghostbusters movie she was a part of came out, and basically it was not the Ghostbusters they wanted. So fans do understand where she's coming from, and I think a lot of fans are in agreement that hopefully down the line cooler heads will prevail, and she'll get a better understanding that, hey, nothing against the old Ghostbusters movie you were part of, nothing against that one, and look at it as basically, hopefully, like I said, someone will kind of explain to her the fact that her Ghostbusters movie probably takes place in an alternate universe. And again, it's nothing against what she's done. So hopefully, like I say, things will work out, and maybe she'll remove the tweet and maybe come out and apologize for what she said. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that's just my take on SNL actress Leslie Jones, who was in the 2016 Ghostbusters film, and how she feels about this new one. It's just my take, my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll talk to y'all later.